Hello there.
General Kenobi!
It's been a while since we've done that one. Hello,
Yeah.
everyone, and welcome to this week's episode of the Super Split Screen Brothers, filmed on the Day of Love, February 14th, otherwise known as Valentine's Day, or, for all the single people out there, Candy Sale Eve. How you doing,
And
Jared?
the day after my birthday.
Well, happy belated birthday. Did you get anything
Thank
good?
you. I got an omnibus that's all the Golden Age Captain Americas. I got the new Legion of Superheroes animated movie, which was really good and hints a lot about where the animated universe is going on. I got the two omnibuy for the new 52 Justice League, and among other things, the book one for Batman War Games.
Ooh.
Which I'm excited to start out because I went off of Nick's recommendation.
So, since you are the belated birthday boy, how about you go first? Tell me what you've been playing, playa.
All right, I love that. But so I started. I'm still playing a lot of like Halo and Lego Batman and such. But I'm also gonna continue my Batman Arkham Origins playthrough because what I'm doing is I'm playing through every Arkham game in chronological order to prep for for Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. So I'm doing that.
Oh.
I'm working through, let's see, what else am I doing right now? I'm playing through just basically more Dead Space, thinking about starting my restarting in other words my Alien Isolation playthrough, but that game is so terrifying that you have to play that the proper day at the proper time of day when there's like sunlight out like blasting, because that game was scary as hell, dude. Like, oh my, because I have to restart because the point that I'm at, the alien's hunting me and my flashlight has no batteries.
So wait, you don't play it at 3 a.m. in an abandoned warehouse?
I play Dead Space like that. I play Dead Space at night and I sleep fine. But for some reason, Aliens is just so terrifying.
Imagine having a midnight security job at like an abandoned factory warehouse or something like that, and you play Alien Isolation at 3 a.m.
Or you're like one of the other like security guard, like you man the cameras, and what you do to screw with the guy that's patrolling is you start playing the alien hissing sound constantly.
Oh yeah. Or imagine playing FNAF and having to watch like you're watching a security screen on your game, and then like you have to watch real security scenes, and you start to like, wait, what's that? Did that mannequin
I'm like, oh no. But yeah, so that's really what I've been playing a lot of besides just reading comic books and watching movies. What about you?
I have been binging Persona 5 and gang.
By the way, I was watching your Nintendo Direct stream, and I was happy that you had another like exploding moment when they announced like another like I think it was essentially Castlevania. The way you react, you were like, "F yes!"
I had a couple of those on the stream.
Yeah, you had a couple of those, but that was like the most Armored Core level one.
The other big one that I was excited for was a new Fantasy Life game. See, that's kind of like a mixture of like Monster Hunter, Animal Crossing, and a kind of a cutesy aesthetic. I love the 3DS version. That game I have so many hours in. It's so good, and the fact that we're getting a sequel on the Switch is everything I've ever hoped for. Like, I thought the series was dead. I did not. I was surprised, but I am very happy. They're doing this game, and I'm going to be seeing a lot of hours into it.
Should be fun.
I'm not happy with like the $70 price increase for Tears of the Kingdom. You know, I know people do excuses like inflation, game dev costs. But to me, they're all bull crap. Okay.
Yeah, because if you make a solid game, it'll sell enough that you that if you sell it for $60, you'll get a crap ton of money if the game's good.
Well, it's not just that, but also games are so heavily monetized these days. You know,
That
like
too.
with microtransactions and all that stuff. Like, for example, FIFA Ultimate Team makes over, I think it's between $1 billion and $3 billion a year, and it counts for a third of EA's yearly revenue. One game's
Jesus.
DLC.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly. So, price increase is just to me is just there's no need, and like production costs. Most games are sold digitally anyway. Like more games are sold digitally than physical. I'm a physical person. I hate that fact, but it's still a fact.
Most of my
And then
games are the last let me put this way. When I got Batman, was it the Gotham Knights game? I got a physical, but that was the first time in a really long time that I've gotten a hit physical because like Halo Infinite was on Game Pass. Most of the games I play are on Game Pass.
Yeah. I buy digital, I prefer physical, but I still do buy digital myself. I'm not necessarily opposed to it. I just prefer physical for various reasons. And like people will point out like, oh, if you look at N64 games in the 90s, they were like an N64 cart, just a cart, cost $10 to produce it. Versus a PlayStation 1 game costs between 30 cents and $1 to produce. That's why if you go look at the ads, a PS1 game never went above $60. I'm just kind of debunk the low hanging fruit that these people try and go to. It's always the same three excuses, and I just and it's like the thing that really bothered me is like if you just want to boil it down to I don't like this, so I'm not going to support it. I don't care, so I'm going to buy it anyway. At that point, it's a matter of taste, and at that point, you just be like, okay, whatever. But these people, when I say I don't want to buy it for that much, and I state my reasons, they mock me, they belittle me, they try and argue with me,
Yeah.
And it's like when I point out this stuff, they just get all defensive, and then they say, I've twice had people say to me, "Oh, you're just going to buy it anyway." It's like, not at launch.
Yeah, it's really a bad idea to actually buy games at launch nowadays because of the state that they launch in. It's better to wait like a month or so for them to like launch updates and fix a lot of the bugs.
To be fair, Nintendo games don't really have that problem. To be perfectly fair.
Okay.
Like Nintendo games I don't think we've ever had Nintendo game launch horribly broken. I mean, there has been times where there's been glitches and some game-breaking glitches. One thing that comes to mind is I remember for the launch of Pokemon X and Y, so like we're getting like way back here. There was a glitch to where if you saved in a certain ring of Lumio City, which is like the main hub of the game, the main city, your save data would get like corrupted or something. What I remember Nintendo did is they announced they were going to do a patch, but in the meantime, they released an infographic to say, "Hey, don't save in this area." So like they got ahead of it. They gave people information of hey, while working on it, don't do this. And I actually really appreciated their response to that. And then they got the patch out, and I think like maybe a few weeks or so, like a month or so later at most. Like it was actually pretty decent response to it, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Nintendo games don't normally. I can't think of any ones that really. Well, some would say like even Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, where that is the most non-playable state a game has been in, which was still playable at launch. Like, sure, graphics weren't the best, the frame rate dipped at times, but it's still perfectly playable. In fact, I enjoyed Scarlet.
That's true. I did notice that like a lot Nintendo seems to have a bigger standard for quality control than a lot of other game devs, which I appreciate. And I'm like more places should care as much as Nintendo does because now I think about it, you're right. Most Nintendo games that at least I played them day one and they've worked for the most part fine. I'm the lucky dude, by the way, who when I've played games even day one, everyone's having all these glitches. My game runs great. For some reason, I've never encountered these really bad glitches, even on Avengers.
Obviously, you've never played a Bethesda game.
Well, yeah. Well, I play some of those, but again, those I've started playing like years later and stuff.
Yeah, and even then, you go back and play Skyrim now, you'll still find glitches.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's a whole nother conversation we got right there.
But you want to move on to the news now?
Yes, please.
All right. So it looks like we're talking about the Mario trailer. Now, here's the thing. I still haven't gotten a chance to watch it, but I thought here's a good idea. We'll watch it. I'll watch it now, and you'll be able to record my live reactions.
All right. Yeah, that works.
All right. So it's all pulled up and everything. It's all set. And you want me to go ahead and get started?
Yeah, let's go for it.
That rap is so good. Oh my gosh.
So, for those who don't know, that rap is actually based off of the Super Mario Bros. Super Show rap, which was the animated cartoon from back in the late 80s, early 90s.
I just love Mario with the shades, like he's thug life. It's so good. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. And then they go straight into the Mario Bros. Theme music. My favorite shot, what you see is when they're fixing the plug. They're just staring straight at the camera. You know, it's just they got like these like expressions on their faces. I'm just like, oh, I love it.
That was fantastic. If ever that was such a good trailer. Oh my gosh.
Also, another one favorite of mine is when the lady's like, "Thank you, Mario Brothers. The only thing you'll drain is my bag of it's like you could tell she's obviously reading off of cards and like.
But my favorite scene is Mario doing this with the sunglasses on, like he's thug life. That's so good. It reminds me of that scene in The Office when they make a welcome rap to the new people that come into the office and they're doing the Scranton Electric City rap. That's what that reminds me of. This movie has fantastic marketing because they're doing stuff like that.
Also, that phone number actually works. You can call them. Yeah.
What happens if you call them?
How about we? All right. All right. Here's what I need you to do. Okay. I need you to read me off.
Oh, you're gonna do it? All right. 929 556 2746.
Thank you for calling Super Mario Brothers Plumbing. It's me, Luigi. If you need service, please text us at the same number. You just call 92955 Mario. That's 929-556-2746. Message us about any issues wherever you live. House, condo, mansion. And we'll be sure to text you back right away because at Super Mario Brothers Plumbing, we don't say let's wait. We say let's go. Oh, and check our website, snbplumbing.com. We're still working on it, so more updates to come. Bye-bye.
That is so good. Oh, my gosh. That is so funny how they did that.
Also, like, if you text them, you do get, like, text updates and whatnot. And also, the website works.
Wow. Again, the marketing on this movie is fantastic.
Oh, yeah.
That is just so good. See, not a lot of movies go to this level. Which they should.
Oh, for sure. All
right. So, and that's what happens. That's good. Family owned operates, fixing pipes to our game. Is that essentially the trailer?
No.
Yes, the trailer. That's so good. Oh, that is so wholesome too. It's so good. It's kind of funny. It fits with the tone of the games too. I'm like, oh, okay.
Also, I love the Easter eggs they put in here. Like, we are brothers, and yes, we are super. Spiky bosses. I'm sorry, but the marketing person had a lot of fun writing this.
The marketing person who is clearly a fan of this game series. Clearly.
Wait, when and I were tired of dealing with spiky bosses, so he jumped at the opportunity. They had a lot of fun. White glove service, like.
Yeah, also, again, whoever.
Also,
yeah,
this is like
it's cool.
Also, I think this is a nod to Wrecking Crew.
Mm-hmm.
And also, I mean, come on, the stars.
Plus, Spike is cool.
Yeah. Let's see here.
That's good. I love that. Bro's mom, their mom gives them the highest rated review. That's good.
It's just so good. Let's see here. The careers. We'll bring in the coins while you keep track of everything to keep us from going underwater.
Oh yeah. Or I'll push it if it isn't starting. That's good. I love that. Yeah, whoever the hell was in charge of marketing this movie was clearly a fan of this franchise and had a lot of fun with this.
Yeah, and it's wait.
Can you click on that?
Oh. Okay. I was not expecting that. And I love how their logo is just the game logo. That is so cool.
Yeah, that's good. I love when movies go this level for marketing.
Yeah, for sure. Oh yeah, I gotta say this movie has slowly been winning me over. Like with the initial trailer where he was just like, where you saw Chris Pratt's voice, like, and then when you saw that clip where he was like going through the warp, I was like, okay, that looks cool, nice attention to detail. Saw the other trailers, like, oh, that looks cool. Myself was like, that looks cool, but it hasn't sold me yet. And I gotta say, like, I was probably gonna go see the movie, but like this vignette went me from like, yeah, it looks cool to from okay to I'm hyped now. Like I'm bought in now. They got me. It's just like
it looks like it's one of those it's gonna be another Sonic, and that's gonna be a game adaptation that captures the game really well.
Also, it's very like it's like this to me told me like they're very adamant about touching upon all the stuff. Like the fact that they did an homage to the Super Mario Brothers Super Show rap, like, the fact they got one of the voice actors just for that to come back and do the voice. It's just like, okay, these people care, like
they clearly do. They're a fan of the entire franchise.
And the fact it's like they're doing a Mario Kart. They're gonna be doing a Mario Kart segment. They're doing a Smash Brothers segment. I swear, Mario picks. I have a feeling at some point, like there's gonna be like a probably a speed thing where like Mario is using like a tennis racket, he's using a golf club, he kicks a soccer ball, like just go through like all the sports thing like kind of in quick succession, like in a fight or something.
It could, because we know that we're at least getting a Mario Kart area, which I think is gonna be so much fun with Rainbow Road and all that.
I think the reason we're getting Mario Kart is because Mario Kart it's kind of become a huge franchise in itself.
Mm-hmm.
Did you know that Mario Kart 8 is actually the highest selling game on the Switch?
Really?
Yeah. So Mario Kart is actually it's become a marquee franchise in and of itself.
Mm-hmm. That's great. I love that because it's a fun game, and they make it more than just a racing game. I mean, whenever I go over to Lad's house, we play it. So there you go.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that's gonna be cool, and then they did a little Smash Brothers vignette, so that'll be cool.
There you go. If they play the theme song for Smash Bros, I'm gonna go nuts because I love that theme song.
I wouldn't be surprised. So
you want to
All
right, so move on to Halo. I have some Halo news.
Oh, you don't say! What a shock!
Here's something very interesting. So, throughout the show, you've heard me rant about how much of a crap job 343 has been doing, right? Well, now the fans are starting to make fan movies about Halo now that look like they're professionally made. Fan animation that looks on the level of Love, Death, and Robots animation.
Oh, wow.
It's like the Corridor Crew guys are making one. A few other big-time directors are making it. So it's to the point where, again, to quote that Thanos meme, fine, I'll do it myself. Where, how about this? And I got a comment on one of my Snyderverse fan edits once where they said, what does it say where we have no faith in the professionals to create this content, so we start doing it ourselves? Imagine that.
I mean, have you seen some of these Star Wars fan films?
Oh my gosh, yeah. I saw one that was basically a fighter squadron thing, but it's all anime art style. That was fantastic.
Have you seen the Revan fan film?
I have. It's so. Is that the one that it's basically the adaptation of the book?
Not sure. It's basically Revan versus Nihilus.
I think I have seen that one because I think that's an adaptation of the Revan novel, I think. But my point still stands is that
another one that you need to see is the Maul. The Maul.
I saw that one. Did you see Star Wars Theory's first episode of Vader?
Vader?
He made a Darth Vader live action fan film where it's him playing Darth Vader, and it's what happened essentially after episode 3. And again, and it looks like a Star Wars movie. But my point is, what does it say that these companies, these big time corporations, have screwed up so royally that number one, the fans are making the content themselves, and number two, it looks more high quality than whatever the hell the other people are making.
Yeah. I mean, heck, yeah. I mean, have you seen some of those DC fan films? Like, they're making full-on miniseries.
Yeah, it's like they have one for Nightwing, which was actually pretty cool. Isn't it? And Nightwing versus Deathstroke.
Have you seen the Nightwing miniseries by Osama Hawk?
That's what I'm talking about. That one. There was a Red Hood one.
Have you seen the Grayson fan film? That one's an older one. That one
I have to check that out. I saw a couple of Batgirl ones that were pretty dope, but yeah, that's my point. Is that you have all these fantastic stories that are story-wise better, but sometimes visual effects better than what like Disney and all those other people are doing. I mean, you made a fan edit about the Avengers, and it's like at thousands of views right about now, right?
Yeah, I mean that's just a silly kind of thing. It's not really. I wouldn't really compare it to like some of these fan films because I put that together in like a few hours.
No, but my point is,
people are doing on months and years for some of these fan films.
But my point is that the fan made content is better than oftentimes the other. I mean, let me put it this way: with comics too, some people are making their own fan comics to basically redeem a lot of DC and Marvel stuff. And again, what does that say? That we're like, okay, we have no faith in you. It's like, here's the other thing. And I saw someone say when talking about the Cell Snyderverse to Netflix hashtag, what does it say? I think it was John Campia, that we have no confidence in what you're doing, that we're either doing it ourselves or we're asking you to sell that IP to someone else because you really screwed it up. Like Star Wars too.
Yeah. I would not be surprised if they sell off Star Wars, honestly, at this point.
Oh, yeah. I do know that they are looking to reboot it. Wait, let me be clear. That's a rumor that they're going to reboot it and focus around certain characters, one of which is Rey. So I'm like, no. But my point is that they are, because currently from again, this is all from Scoopers, but this could be wrong, but they see Star Wars as a damaged brand, which it is. A lot of these things are damaged brands right about now.
They're the ones who damaged it. Like when they bought it, Star Wars was nowhere near as like you got to think about the state of Star Wars in 2012. Like we were still reeling from the effects of the prequels, but the Clone Wars had done a lot to repair the damage. Like it was it was a declining brand, but as Force Awakens showed, people still love Star Wars.
Yeah,
you know, like the love was still there for Star Wars.
Because you know why? Force Awakens was legit a reskinning of Episode 4. But you know it's bad when after your movies, you know it's bad when after watching your movies, the sequel trilogy, people go, maybe we were too harsh on the prequels.
I mean, honestly, what they should do is, and this might be sacrilege, mind you, is to adapt Heir to the Empire.
Mm-hmm.
You know, basically, you do a whole new trilogy, cast the sequel trilogy out. If you have to, use a deep fake Luke, deep fake Han, deep fake Leia, if you have to. I know this is sacrilege, but you gotta do what you gotta do.
Adapt Knights of the Old Republic or like some stuff in the Old Republic era, because that is one one thing that I've seen, because if there's one character that hasn't been used well at all, for the most part, that I've seen all fans want, it's Darth Revan.
See, the question is, if you do a Revan film, do you do a film before it detailing the fall of Revan and the Mandalorian Wars? Because most people are going to see the twist. Because if you do Knights of the Republic, it kind of revolves around that twist. But most people will see that coming a mile away, and most people know that twist already. So it's like,
the way I was thinking of doing it, it's not a movie; it's a series, and it's essentially the Revan and the Mandalorian Wars, but it's Clone Wars animation style. So it's essentially because I think what Clone Wars did really well is it showed like all sides of a war, and I think that would work really well for like a Mandalorian Wars era thing.
I think KOTOR deserves live action.
I think too, but I'm just saying, if live action is not possible, then I will take that. But yeah, if live action's on the table, absolutely do it.
Yeah, I'm actually kind of interested to see what they're going to do with Ahsoka, because apparently with Ahsoka, they're pretty much adapted, I guess, because they're doing Thrawn. They're bringing back, they're basically Rebels plus Heir to the Empire from what I've been able to gather.
Yeah,
like they're bringing back Ezra, they're bringing back Sabine, which I have no idea why Sabine hasn't showed up on the Mandalorian yet.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, and
because remember,
go back to our thing.
Sabine was the second to the last person to wield the Darksaber. Because remember, she's the one who gave it to
Bo-Katan,
Katie Sackhoff's character.
Which, by the way, that's not the way you're supposed to pass off the Darksaber. You're supposed to win it in combat, but that's besides. I would have loved that they explored that. But my point is, but you also have fan games, by the way. Just want to add that there. Or here's a perfect example of fan edit. Project freaking Justice League, when they took Zack Snyder's storyboards, because Warner Brothers was clearly not doing it, and made a motion comic for it. And again, it's like, you know what? We're at the era now. Technology is at the point when we could make this content and make it look good.
All right. As far as that portion, let's save it for kind of like a future topic in this episode.
Yeah. But my point still stands that like essentially we're at the point when we could make a fan film or like we can make a fan project based on these IPs, and it would look just as good or better than what like Marvel's been putting out.
Yeah, we'll talk about that in a second.
Yeah,
but we got kind of a big one to do. We got a bit of an update on a previous story. Yep. So while Jared is taking care of that,
I'm back.
Okay.
I just had to close the door.
Yeah, next time that happens, just make sure to mute your mic first and then go deal with it. Okay, cool. All right, cool. So anyway, so we're moving on, and then so basically this is an update on a previous topic we had, to where Hogwarts Legacy it's basically out now, and I gotta say it is the
gameplay. It looks gorgeous.
Did you know that it is the most played game on Twitch at launch?
Oh, really? And it was kind of funny because weren't there a bunch of people that wanted to have a list of which streamers played it to like harass them?
Yeah, and they ended up taking it down because people were like, "Oh, this is a great way I can find out who's streaming Hogwarts Legacy, so I can watch them." So it's having the exact opposite effect.
Because what these people don't realize is that they're like hissy fit about it actually helped it severe. It's like how like the anti-SJW crowd is always like I guess attacked and said like all this rage stuff actually just helps them and it gives them free marketing. They just gave that game free marketing.
It's what's commonly called the Streisand effect.
Yeah.
And to explain the Streisand effect is, so basically it's named after Barbara Streisand, the musician. Apparently, like a picture of her house got on the web, and she made a big old hissy fit about it and said, "Don't look at this picture of my house." And so what it did is everyone wanted to go look at the picture of her house. And that's basically what the Streisand effect is. By complaining, say, "Don't look at this thing," you're actually calling more attention to it, and you're having, kind of thing. So
yeah, exactly.
I really feel like this game would not be half as successful if it wasn't for the people.
Thank you.
Going like this.
Yeah, exactly. I agree with you because again, it gave the game free marketing, and it gave it more because the pendulum, for the most part, I think, is swinging away from from a lot of the stuff, and this is definitely helping because here's the thing, because the topic of this debate, this debate centered on if you play this game, you're a bad person. If you play this game, you're a horrible person. Someone called it a genocide simulator. And I'm like, people are like, that's clearly not true.
They tried to add these tags on Steam and just no one was buying it. Like, okay, that's cute. You know, you think you're trying to, blah, blah, blah. Apparently the game's actually pretty good anyway. So
I've seen gameplay of it. It looks fantastic. I'm not really a Harry Potter fan, but it looks fun.
I'm probably gonna buy it on Steam. Like, there's gonna be a Switch port, but like, honestly, I feel like this game would be best to buy on Steam. The best experience. I'll probably buy it when it goes on sale. Honestly,
I'll download it when it goes on Game Pass to check it out. But it looks amazing. So that actually aids it a lot. And it's just like, again, because here's the thing. The whole boycott thing, it's the same reason why it's like with the Flash movie. You're going to essentially boycott one thing because you're going to essentially screw the entire development team because like one person associated with the brand said something you didn't like.
I mean, honestly, see, someone kind of raised an interesting point. Like, oh, you're going to boycott it because Ezra did all these bad things. Well, you're going to boycott this or that movie because this artist did bad things, which, okay, fine. That's a point. I don't know. Because, like if Amber Heard's in Aquaman, I'm not, a part of me doesn't want to go see it, but, I don't know.
But here's the thing. You don't, as far as I know, you haven't said, if you want to go watch this, you're a terrible person. You just said, I personally won't do it.
Yeah, that's kind of the dividing line that a lot of people. That's kind of what the stance a lot of people have, where it's like, if you don't want to play Hogwarts Legacy because you don't support J.K. Rowling and you don't want to give her any money, that is perfectly fine. In fact, I support you. I support you in that decision. Yeah. If you
we live in a capitalist system, and if you don't want to support it with your money, that's totally fine. We can't tell you to. Totally fine.
I fully support your actions. Like, if that's what you want to do, then go right ahead. I'm not being sarcastic. I'm like, please, if you feel that strongly, then don't buy it. And if most people were like that, no one would care. It'd be whatever. But the problem we have here is it goes beyond that. It goes beyond not supporting the game, refusing to buy, refusing to give J.K. Rowling money. It goes to, we're going to harass people.
Yeah. And these people claim to have the moral high ground.
Did you see that clip where they harassed a streamer to the point where one of them actually cried was starting to cry?
Yeah, no, I haven't yet. But
come on,
that is some infantile BS right there. That is infantile. It's like it's the same situation. It's almost like the same situation that I went through as a Snyder fan when people were calling me not a real DC fan and calling me a Snyder cultist just because I happen to enjoy his movies. And I'm like, no. I'm not saying you have to. I'm just saying, allow me to like this stuff. It's it doesn't affect you ultimately.
So the big issue with J.K. Rowling is like her stance on like trans people, which I feel is kind of like really misunderstood. But it's to the point where like I've had one of my trans friends, literally we were talking in DMs, and she said she wants to get Hogwarts Legacy, but she can't really broadcast it because she fears harassment. That is how bad it is. So when actual trans people are scared of saying they want to get Hogwarts Legacy because they get harassed.
Yeah, exactly. What is that? I'm sorry, go ahead.
The frick.
Yeah, you have then lost the moral high ground. Yeah, thank you. But you have then lost It's gotten to that point where the very people that you claim to represent are now afraid to admit that they want to play this product because they are going to be harassed. What does that say?
You underestimate my power.
Don't try it. Ah! What does it say?
Anakin. It's over, Anakin. I have the moral high ground.
And then he just throws lava at you. But what does that say? Wait. You have become the very thing you swore to destroy. I use that.
You were like a brother to me.
So a couple of years ago, I mean, like a couple of months ago, I did a video that's basically a summation of the 3 Snyder films, and the BVS part with the Martha scene. I legit took the audio of Obi-Wan saying you have become the very thing you swore to destroy and put it there just to actually lay out what Batman was thinking, because I think a lot of people were like, no, he said Martha, and I'm like, this is what he really meant. But that's legit. So all of a sudden, in like a Zack Snyder's discussion video, you all of a sudden hear Obi-Wan Kenobi.
I get what Zack was going for.
It could have been done better, though.
Well, that's pretty much what I was going to say. On a meta level, it works. But just on a surface level viewing of it, it's really stupid. Like from a meta analysis, like, oh, it's humanity, bringing the humanity, like, if you actually like deep down, like his intentions for it are sound, but what he wanted to do is fine, but the execution, like,
can I tell you how I would execute it?
Order 66.
No, yeah, but I would have had Superman, instead of saying you're letting him kill Martha, you're letting him kill my mother. You could have had that same effect, because that way it's less like
Martha. It's like Martha is really the thing that made him pause. You know,
okay.
Martha was kind of Martha was the trigger word for him, because like they both share a mother. You know,
true.
Which I do find it kind of odd, because like Martha has been the name of both of those people for like the longest time. I do find it odd that both their mothers are named Martha,
and we just now put two together.
Yeah, and this isn't a recent thing. This has been like the way forever, because like Martha Kent and Martha Wayne
go back to the 30s.
It's just really weird. And we're just now realizing, like you said.
That must have been a popular name back then. But the point is, he could have done it a little better. I will give you that. That's like I'm willing to admit that there are some things, I like them. He could have done a tad. He could have tweaked a little bit. But the point is, back to this.
Just going to say this. The issue is, most people really don't care to delve into the meta thing, because like that moment is so ridiculous that most people just can't get past the whole ridiculous ofness of that kind of scene, and they don't even, like, you tell them the meta stuff, they don't care, because they don't want to delve into it, and that's kind of the issue, is you can have these deep layers of subtext, but if the surface layer is not interesting enough, you got to incentivize people to dig deeper, to analyze it.
Yeah, okay. That's one of the criticisms of those movies, and I'm like, okay, he could have done that a little better, I'll admit that. But anyway, back to the topic. But yeah, so that's the basic point of that is that now these people are scaring the very people they want to protect. So what does that say?
Says a lot. It's like that meme you've seen of like a minority trying to say something, and then the white person just kind of, oh, you poor minority, no, don't worry, me, white person, will speak for you, we'll defend you.
That itself is racism right there.
I'm just gonna say this, and then we're gonna kind of go on. It's like, congratulations, you're so anti-racist, you look right back to being racist.
Yeah, exactly. I saw someone said on one the YouTube shows that like a lot of these people, when they're trying to demonstrate they're not racist, they overcorrect and just go into a ditch.
Yeah. That's enough politics for right now. Let's get heroic.
Yeah, now we're going to talk about and this topic was my idea. It's like, what superheroes need video games? I've done this on my channel, but I figured it's appropriate for this one. And I got my first one is Nightwing. A Nightwing game in the style of Arkham, I think, could go really well in terms of the gameplay mechanics and everything. Because and you could have, I would keep like maybe the same voice actor playing Nightwing, but basically it's the Arkham game. But it's in terms of gameplay mechanics.
The problem with this is, if it's a Nightwing game, it has to be lighter, because Nightwing as a character is nowhere near as dark as Batman. And the Arkham games are known for being like dark and dreary and whatnot. And Nightwing can go those places, but he's usually not.
But what I mean is like the gameplay mechanics, like the free flow combat and all that stuff, that can transfer over. Obviously, a lighter tone and everything like that. But essentially, like the gameplay aspects of Arkham, except for like the interrogations where you're driving a Batmobile on someone's face, are a little different. Yeah, exactly.
I mean, yeah, I guess I could see it.
How about a 4-player Justice League co-op game?
Yes.
Where like it's like you can change like it's essentially Marvel Ultimate Alliance, and you have like the player rosters, like all of the different people that have been on the Justice League, and you can like swap them in and out. So essentially DC Ultimate Alliance, but done well, because they had Justice League Heroes, but that was like very limited in how they did it.
Yeah, I could see that working.
I also had a good idea for like a Deathstroke game in the vein of Call of Duty.
I want a Daredevil game in the style of Arkham City.
And you can how about a Daredevil VR game where you actually have to use your other senses to navigate and everything? And then you press a button that recharges after a while, and it launches a sonar, so you have to remember where everything is.
No, you actually have to create sounds using, because like, you know how like you don't, you know, kind of thing.
Yeah,
like
that'd be cool. But yes, 100% a Daredevil game would be really fun, really fun. How about a Venom game where you eat people?
Well, have you ever played Ultimate Spider-Man?
I've heard of that game. I haven't played it, but I know that they can play as Ultimate Venom.
You need to play it because it's cel shaded and it's done in the style of Spider-Man 2.
And it's canon. That's to the comic books. It's actually canon.
It was actually written by Bendis, so yeah.
Why did you say that name?
No.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't try it, Anakin.
That's crossing the line, Mark. But anyway, yeah, I think that'd be really fun. But make an M-rated game like X-Men Origins Wolverine.
Ooh, yes. It's going to be really interesting what they do with that Wolverine game. Like, that better be M-rated. That better be
M-rated. That better be M-rated, because I have a problem with like they try to make Wolverine and Venom PG-13 movies, and I'm like, no. If there were two characters, and I just said this very like my 9th episode of Under Two Capes, Venom and Wolverine are two characters that you have to do M and or R-rated to get right.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure the Wonder Woman game is going to be rated T for teen. That's
yeah. Thinking. Yeah, there's no reason for Wonder Woman to be rated M. As fun as that would be.
If you want to you can have her cut off heads.
You could still you could actually, you know what? If you wanted to like make it basically a Wonder Woman version of like Shadow of War, Shadow of Mordor, you could do rated M and do it really well. But I don't think they want to show like.
Why would you do a Shadow of War game with Wonder Woman though? Like that?
No, but I'm just saying. I'm just saying. That level of gory stuff, if you wanted to do it like that, yeah, 100% you would make it M. But from what I've seen, it doesn't look like they're going to go that level.
With T-rated games, you can cut heads off. The problem is you can't show blood.
Okay.
Like usually when you cut a head off, you see like a blood spurt. You can kind of cut a head off, and as long as there's no blood, usually they let it slide.
It depends on like what enemies you're fighting, because if you're fighting Greek monsters, yeah, I'm pretty sure it will be fine as long as there's no blood. There's no real reason to do that.
Like what? Like that's why a lot of games use robots as their enemies, because like, you can get actually really gory with like,
because you have oil.
Like you can literally like tear their limbs apart and like oil splattering, which is blood and whatnot. Yeah, because like it's robots. Who cares?
Now, the other character that I want a game for, that I know it's possible to do a game right, is Superman. Now, the reason why I know it's possible is because if you played Superman Returns, that game's actually really fun. But because one of the things I always see game commentators talk about with Superman games is because you have to have like a good health system because Superman's invulnerable. What that game did is make the city's health your health. In other words, you yourself were invincible. I mean, you get knocked down occasionally, but you were invincible. But your health was essentially how much damage was done to the city itself. So that's the way that I think you could essentially make a good Superman game with the help, because he's protecting Metropolis and all that.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So what do you think? What characters do you want to see a game of? 4-player Teen Titans?
There actually is a Teen Titans video game for the PS2. And I think it is for 4-player.
And I think there is a Young Justice game as well for the show.
Yeah, though I think there's one for the 3DS. It's not that good.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see here.
Green Lantern, but an actual like Mass Effect style Green Lantern, where it's like open world, if you will, with space.
I'd like to see a good Spawn game.
Oh yes, that's another character I think has to be rated M.
Yeah, I really feel like a Flash game where you do like kind of time travel shenanigans, that could be interesting.
That could be fun. There have been concepts for a Flash game that I've seen like going on Twitter. So that would be really fun. A free roaming Flash game where like you unlock the ability to like go back in time and like like if something happens that you didn't intend, you can just go back in time and fix it.
Yeah, because like it could manifest in kind of two different ways. One, you could do a Prince of Persia Sands of Time style mechanic where it's like you can go back like 15, 30 seconds. But if they do any longer than that, basically what you have to do is you have to create like a past world, present world, future world. Because going back like an hour, stuff like that isn't really feasible for games. But what they usually do with these kind of things is to create a past, present, modern kind of thing, like different layers upon the world. And that's what they might do. But like that, it's like for a Flash game,
or
I don't know,
a Flash point game,
like point and click.
Nice, but it's a game for Flashpoint, and at the end of the game, you get to go back in time and stop Barry from saving his mom. The final boss battle is past Barry, in other words. That'd be a little meta, but still.
Little meta for the metaverse.
Yeah, I mean, you don't necessarily have to do a time thing with the Flash if that mechanic is not feasible. But I'm just saying, I'm trying to come up with ways it could work.
Yeah, imagine
have an Aquaman game.
What about a Green Arrow game?
That would be fun. That would be really cool. It's like an archery simulator. It starts off with Stephen Amell going, "You have failed the city."
Oh,
getting him on board. How about an Aquaman game?
That would be interesting. See, video games really still haven't really perfected like 3D combat. When what I mean by that is like
in water
combat in water. I mean, honestly, you like it's just
Dead Space kind of had it.
It's the thing is, it's the reason why you don't really see many fights in the air in video games, because at least in terms of like fist fights, because game designers really kind of have a problem with that Z-axis.
And
combat, and kind of going all around you. So that's why you don't, it's like whenever you see combat in the air, it's usually they go to each other, and then it kind of becomes a 3D on the ground fighter for a little bit. That's kind of how they end up doing it. Like you see that in the DBZ games where it's like they're in the air, but then they go to each other and then they just kind of fight. But it's more just like a 3D fighter that that usually take place on the ground, but take place in the air. That's
true. What they could also do, here's an idea: a Mario Kart game, but it's like essentially DC, where you have like the Batmobile racing, like the Bat Cycle and all that stuff. And you can use like all the different Batmobiles. I call the Ben Affleck one from Justice League with the big ass artillery cannons.
DC Racer.
Yeah, that'd be fun. Wouldn't that be fun? Wonder Woman's in like a ground version of the Invisible Jet, and the Flash is on the ground.
Let's limit it to like Batman characters. Like you have the R-Cycle. You have
Nightwing Cycle.
Huntress uses a motorcycle. A lot of motorcycles.
The Joker Mobile. Harley
Sorry,
Quinn is
when you
riding a
said that.
hyena. You could see that. Bane is riding a monster truck.
Wonder Woman is an invisible sports car.
Yes, there you go. Superman is just like Superman. He's just flying, maybe.
Flash is on foot.
Yeah, exactly. Aquaman is like on a dolphin that's like floating above the ground. Mara's surfing a wave.
No. Aquaman is. I'm trying to think of. Aquaman is riding an alligator. A really fast alligator. Because I was trying to think of like an aquatic animal that goes on land.
Yeah, that works. That works. Let me see. Gordon is in a cop car. Obviously, I think that's the most obvious thing.
Lobo is in a chariot driven by his space dolphins.
Or it's just his motorcycle.
Yeah, but the space dolphins idea is just cooler.
That looks so funny, and that's also on brand for Lobo.
It's just a chariot, like maybe the chariot's on fire or something. Like it's like it's got exhaust coming out the back for some reason. It's and it's being driven by space dolphins. Oh, I could so see that.
Yeah, that would be so much fun. Jesus, that would be so good. And like all the maps can be like Themyscira. Apocalypse can be a racetrack. Brainiac's ship can be one. The Fortress of Solitude.
Green Lantern, Hal Jordan is a construct Corvette, like it's like a muscle car kind of thing.
Yeah, because that's so what Hal would use. And Guy Gardner has like Dom's car from Fast and the Furious, except Green Lantern construct. And you can have a meme.
I don't have friends. Wait, no, I gotta do this bit. I don't have friends. I don't have family either.
Or you could just have, whenever you engage your boosters, it's Guy Gardner going, family! What? And then Hal's like, what? I saw in the movie once. We could go so meta with this.
I'm trying to think.
Let's see.
What a Martian Man. Oh, Martian Manhunter is in like a saucer, flying saucer.
Yes, exactly. And his head's like popping out like Marvin the Martian. Shazam is riding a lightning bolt.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Riding the lightning.
Yeah, exactly. Who else would be really, really, really funny to see? I would probably go with. I'm looking at my graphic novel.
Oh,
Dr. Fate is riding a floating version of his helmet.
No, he's riding the Ankh.
Oh, that works. Or he's just cross-legged like this, just flying through the air. That would just look so weird. But all right, so beyond racing games, well, you could it would be cool, a Bat family game, but Batman's part of it. In other words, not dead.
Yeah.
Because I could have worked, because that's the thing about Gotham Knights. If Batman hadn't died and you got to play as Batman also, I think it would have been a lot more popular.
Well, yeah. I mean, they would have had to do a totally different story. See, the thing is, I can see a story where like a Gotham Knight style Batman is dead. They now must take care of the city. And I really feel like the developers, they did try. I feel like on the story department, the game probably works. But on a gameplay, it's just pure generic.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly.
From what I've seen of the story, it seems like they actually put effort in creating a good story, good characters.
Ooh.
The gameplay is just very generic.
I got a good game. All right. It's Batman Under the Red Hood, where the game you play as Batman and it's that storyline. But at the end of the game, as soon as you complete the game, you unlock a campaign that takes place during the main campaign where you're playing the game, but from Red Hood's perspective. So it's first you play as Batman, as Batman's perspective, then you play as Red Hood.
Okay, here's my addition to that. At the end of the game, you have a choice to make.
Ooh, you can choose to kill the Joker?
Or no, you have a choice. You have two choices to make: kill the Joker or not kill the Joker. Kill the Joker, bad ending. Not kill the Joker, you fight Jason Todd, and then you have another choice: do you kill Jason Todd, or do you not, or do you spare his life? If you kill Jason Todd, bad ending. Bad ending 2. If you spare Jason Todd, good ending. Then you unlock the separate campaign with him.
That works. And then if you kill the Joker, he goes, "Looks like I'm going out on a high note."
No. What you do? No. What he says is, "That's not funny."
Yeah, that's good.
I'm sorry, but like, have you seen that clip from Batman? Like that hits so hard.
Yeah,
that hits so freaking hard. Where when the Joker says that's not funny, that just hits you like a.
Yeah, exactly. Batman Beyond game. Open world Batman Beyond game.
Just flying around Gotham.
Exactly. Flying around Gotham. It's futuristic as hell. It's all that, but you're playing as Terry McGinnis.
Cell shaded.
Of course, cell shaded for that. You kidding me?
I could imagine, just imagine like the neon glowing cell shaded. Oh my god, that looks so good.
Yeah, that would be so good, right?
Yeah, we've been having
more
some fun with these games.
More games that are based on comic book properties need to be cell shaded. I think that's an aesthetic choice that would be really
definitely works. Definitely works for the medium, I'd say. We've been having a lot of fun with these games.
Just real quick, a Harley Quinn game where actual thought bubbles show up on screen, essentially like the Deadpool game.
I don't know, maybe.
I don't know, maybe, but I do think a Harley Quinn game would be really funny.
Yeah, it could be interesting depending on it.
Oh,
yeah.
a DC dating simulator.
A little bit out of left field, but sure,
I'm just saying
not?
what I'm encompassing all genres. We talked about a DC racing game for the past 10 minutes.
Yeah, fine.
Or how about this? The Snyderverse, but it's a game, and that's the way they conclude it. The story is a game.
Yeah, sure.
That'd be interesting. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but
so yeah, we've had a lot of fun with these games. Let's have some fun in games.
All right, so I got a good. So I found this fantastic meme. It would have worked better. Actually, we actually talked about games being overly monetized. So actually, this works really well for this topic. So I give you Jared's gaming meme.
Yes, accurate.
That is so accurate. Did you see? By the way, someone made a compilation of every time Angry Joe rants about having to buy the color blue. It's so hilarious. He goes, "Blue, you're charging me for the color blue?" That's what they did in Halo Infinite, by the way. They charge you for a generic blue armor color.
Oh, you think that's bad? Did you hear about in one of the Call of Duty games? They charge you for a red dot.
Oh my gosh. That's when it gets really ridiculous. That's when it gets really ridiculous. Like, if you want to buy a gun, fine. But a red dot, really? Like, just the dot. Are you kidding me?
I am not.
The site, even the site, I'll accept if you have to buy the gun site. But the red dot, that's when it just gets ridiculous. And that's when I say, no, you can't charge me $70 and expect me to purchase your game if you're going to do that stuff in this game.
Exactly. When games are over monetized to that point, and then you try and pull that $70 crap on
us.
It's like,
sorry.
No.
Because I'm fine if you want to buy guns and equipment and stuff. I don't like it, but that's where my tolerance, and I'm gonna draw the line at that. That's where my tolerance stops for this type of stuff.
They try and the defenders, they try to do inflation or or like game dev costs are rising. Let's tackle the game dev costs. Okay, game dev costs are rising, but they're still more profitable than they ever have been.
And by the way, they were doing this stuff before the inflation rise and before the game dev costs started going up. Ever since there was monetization, they've been doing BS like this.
And like they try to point out like, games are cheaper now than they ever have been. Like, okay,
that's
sure,
objectively
but, like,
false, but okay.
Well, if you go by inflation, they got they got half a point. Like, it's a valid point, but again, the monetization of games are so crazy that, like, you buy a game and they want you to spend more, like, what I'm saying, to where packaging is irrelevant, and it's like production costs, like in terms of like the distribution. Most games are done on digital nowadays, so it's just really stupid.
It's like with Arkham Knight, I think, had the best type of monetization policy because they gave you DLCs where you can play as different characters, and they either took place during, before, or after the storyline. That was fine, and they also allowed you to buy skins. Like I happen to purchase every skin because I freaking love that game. But it's like you could buy the BVS skin, you could buy this skin, you could use the 89 Batmobile and 89 suit. So I'm like, okay, that you're actually. First off, the game tells a complete story and it's a complete package in and of itself. Mm-hmm. So that's key. You have to go with that. And then you have all this stuff to enrich it. All this purchasing stuff should add to, not complete. It shouldn't complete it. It should add to an already complete product.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. So what meme do you have, Nick?
That's what I mean.
Okay. All right, there you go. That works.
Yeah. So yeah, this was fun. One of our longer episodes, for sure. We definitely got talking. So yeah, what superheroes do you guys think need video games? What are your thoughts on Hogwarts Legacy? Are you playing it? Do you enjoying it? Let us know. Also, what were your thoughts on the Mario trailer? I'm really interested to see if you guys think. Are you guys going to go see it? So as always, this has been Nick from the Phoenix Press, and remember, I can only show you the door. You're the ones to walk through it.